What's up, and welcome back to Interpreting the Stars, where today we are bringing it back to our Toy Story rewatch of films with Toy Story 2, which came out in 1999. This time around, Woody's in trouble because he is stolen by a toy collector slash seller slash all-around bad dude, and it's up to Buzz Lightyear and gang to go on an adventure to find and rescue Woody once and for all. But in the meantime, Woody is finding out about his heritage, about his history, where he came from, and that he's not alone in the world, that there are other cowboy-like dolls that are much more related to him, like Jessie the cowgirl, like his horse Bullseye, and of course Stinky Pete. And then he has to decide what family means to him, what it would mean to abandon one in favor of the other, and vice versa. I first saw this movie in theater when I was just a kid. I couldn't articulate what I thought of it, other than to say that it was good. And it is a good movie, but why? Is it because of the characters? Absolutely. Toy Story is nothing without these characters. As long as you have these characters at the forefront, the movie's going to probably be solid. And Toy Story 2 not only had the same characters as before, but it also introduced a good number of other characters that are just as good as the original characters that we love from Toy Story 1. Not only that, but if you think about it, those characters that we love from Toy Story 1 weren't even in Toy Story 1 that much. They were in the background doing a whole lot of nothing while Woody and Buzz were going around on the adventure. This time they are at the forefront. They are having much more of an important role independently because they're on the adventure too. So if you're not a fan of Woody and Buzz and you like those other characters, those other toys, you'd probably like Toy Story 2 more because it has more of them in this movie because they're actually doing stuff in this movie. And there is a lot to love about Toy Story 2. It is a very, very good movie. Maybe not so much as good as the first movie or as classic as the first movie, but there's a lot of stuff it's got going for it. The animation style is miles better than Toy Story 1 because Toy Story 1 was the first ever CGI movie ever. A few years have passed and they had definitely upped their game when it came down to animating their characters. However, when it comes down to the graphics, when it comes down to the visuals, it's still not perfect. It definitely still has a lot of flaws, and you notice it more in Toy Story 2 than you ever did really with Toy Story 1 because Toy Story 1 had a lot of focus on the toys. So imperfections when it came down to graphics didn't matter much because toys were imperfect. However, Toy Story 2 has a little bit more focus on human characters, on animals like the dog, and it's minor details that you will definitely notice, like the fur on the dog is kind of clumped together. It's not very detailed. The shadows on it aren't perfect. Or with the humans in the movie, it's not perfect. There's this moment in the movie where Andy scrunches his face when he gets upset. When I say he scrunches his face, I really mean he scrunches his face. The top part of his face kind of overlaps a little bit over the middle, and you're like, that's not what human faces do. It's only for a second, blink and you'll miss it, but if you see it, you're like, oh god, it kind of looks like a monster a little bit in that second. The humans and the animals, they don't look perfect, and they didn't look perfect in the first one either, but since they had so much focus on only the toys, it didn't matter that much. But when it comes down to those added characters like Jessie and Bullseye and Barbie, they are really good. They're pretty much as good as the original characters, and they are voiced and casted very, very well. You accept them into this universe of film. When it comes down to the narrative in this movie, it's a little bit confusing because when you look at protagonists, you're looking for somebody who sees that there's something wrong in the world and they're trying to rectify it. They're trying to fix it. Woody is stolen, so he sees that there is something wrong in the world and he's trying to fix it. He's trying to go back to Andy. Buzz and gang see that there's something wrong because he's stolen, and they're going out to fix it too. They're trying to rescue him. They're both trying to do exactly the same thing, just from different points. From a literary standpoint, it's a little bit convoluted. A kid, on the other hand, is not going to care about little things like that. Those are technical problems. A kid's just going to be watching it to watch it. It's going to be watching it for those characters that he or she loves. He's going to be watching it to watch them be funny or whatever. Kid's going to be watching it for the adventure, and if that's the case, they're going to love the movie. To put it short, I would say the movie is still solid. It still has a lot of ways to go to match up to today's standards in film and animation, but the story is solid, the characters are solid, a lot of kids will still love it to this day. It's not as good as the original, it's not as classic as the original, but it's up there. I scored this movie 77%, 77 out of 100 possible stars. Guys, tell me what you thought of Toy Story 2 in the comments down below. And as for YouTube, you know what to do. Subscribe to me, hit the like button, hit the bell to be notified when I come out with my next review. But until then, peace out.